Hey guys, it's the Vitality Junkie here, and welcome to part 5 of this 10-part series on intuitive eating. If you haven't already, please go back and watch the first 4 videos so you don't miss anything. And then when you're ready, you can come back to this one. In part 5, we are going to talk about principle 5 to intuitive eating, which is feel the fullness. And I'm sure some of you can relate. I think we've all gone through this, where we've gone out for dinner or lunch and we've eaten so much and felt absolutely gross after. I know I've done it a lot, and I tell myself every time I go that I'm not going to do it, and then I do, because the food tastes so good and I don't want to stop eating. And in fact, I did it the other day, and I consciously did it the other day. I knew as I was eating that I should stop, but I just didn't want to stop because I was really enjoying it. So, but I felt the effects after, and I knew what I was going to feel like, and I certainly did feel not great after. And it's funny because I even was chatting with my husband on the way home from work, and you know, I wondered for people who are out there feeling that discomfort and bloating, aside from people that have allergies, you know, you don't have to feel like that all the time. When you're paying attention to your hunger cues and respecting your fullness, you don't have to feel like that. And so when my husband and I were chatting, I wondered how many people know that? How many people know that if they just stuck to smaller portions, even with healthy foods? And that's what I was eating the other day. I was eating a lunch that I brought from home to work. And but I wasn't paying attention to my fullness cues, and I ate way too much and felt bloated and gassy afterward. And so I hope that everyone will take note of this particular principle, because it will affect how you're feeling. So pay attention to some of the tips that we have here for you, and we'll continue on. And so just going back to why do we do that to ourselves? Why do we stuff ourselves with food when we know we should stop? And in the book Intuitive Eating, they describe it as the clean plate syndrome. And there's many reasons why people feel the need to eat everything on their plate. One, it's how we're taught. I know for me, I have grandparents that grew up in Europe during the war, and there was famine, and so for them it's all about eating everything that's on your plate because you don't know when you're going to eat next. And so there's lots of times where I have to turn on I have to challenge the food police and set my boundaries with my grandmother and let her know that I'm full. Thank you very much, but I am feeling quite full. Yeah, so I have to kind of set those boundaries with her. Respecting the value of food. No one wants to waste food. So they have this need to want to just eat everything that's on their plate because they don't want to waste it. Maybe it's become habit. You just habitually take your food and then eat it all, whether or not you feel full at the end or not. You feel like I have to eat everything that's on my plate. Or perhaps you're distracted, you're on autopilot, maybe you're watching TV, you're in a great conversation, and you're not paying attention to what you're eating until all of a sudden all the food's gone off your plate. Or perhaps it's eating too quickly, and it's when you become hangry. We've talked about this in one of the previous videos, but when you wait too long to eat, and then you get food in front of you and you're stuffing yourself with it because you're so hungry, you're not giving your body a chance to let your brain know that you're full. And so by the time that happens, you're beyond full and feeling, you start to feel the effects of bloating and gassiness afterward. So those are some of the reasons why we feel the need to eat everything on our plate. But one of the other reasons, and this is the first step to how to respect your fullness, is giving yourself unconditional permission to eat anything you want at any time. And what I used to do with myself, especially when we'd go to restaurants, is I would feel the need to eat everything because I didn't know when I was going to allow myself to go back to the restaurant to eat that food again. Whereas when you've told yourself, you know what, I can have this at any time. So if I don't want to finish it now, that's okay, because I can have this again at any other time. Then all of a sudden you don't feel the need to have to eat everything that's on your plate. So that's number one, is giving yourself unconditional permission to eat anything. And number 2 is to recognize what satiety or fullness feels like. So you may feel like a subtle fullness. You might start to feel like you're getting a little bit full, satisfied and content. Or you might feel nothing. It's just nothingness. You're not hungry, but you're not full either. So when you're starting to feel that fullness or starting to feel bloated and that sort of feeling, you're beyond feeling full. You've probably eaten a bit too much. The third step is to eat consciously, to pay attention when you're eating. So thinking about paying attention to your cues. Am I full? And maybe even pausing while you're eating so that you're not eating too quickly and not giving your body a chance to respond and tell your brain that you're full. So just practicing conscious eating. And again, asking questions. Am I feeling full now? Do I still need more food? Even if your plate is done, do I still need to get more food because I'm not feeling full yet? Or you're having that thought of, I need to eat everything that's on my plate, but I'm starting to feel like I'm getting full. So maybe I need to stop. So just consciously eating so you can pay attention to all of that. Number 4, you don't have to eat it all. You don't have to eat everything that's on your plate, but you don't have to leave anything either. So again, pay attention to your fullness, and that will come with your conscious eating. If you're paying attention, you know what, I'm full, I'm gonna stop eating and leave whatever's on my plate, or I need to get up and get some more food because I'm still feeling a bit hungry. Number 5, say no to the food police. So if you have that grandmother or that friend who's trying to coax you into dessert or shovel more potatoes into you, it's okay to challenge the food police and politely tell them that you are not hungry any longer. Or if it's the opposite, which I've never run into, but maybe you have, where someone doesn't want to give you more food, even though you're still feeling hungry, it's again politely saying, you know what, I'm not feeling full yet. I need to have a little bit more food, and letting them know. And then finally, at the end is again asking questions and practicing mindfulness right after you've eaten and a few hours after, and get a sense of how you feel. So are you feeling bloated? Have you kind of developed gassiness? How do you feel tired? Do you feel any other effects that might be from eating too much? Those might be, that might help you connect your satiety cues with how you feel a couple of hours after. So you can say to yourself, you know what, I felt like I was probably full, but then I kept eating because I wasn't sure, and now this is how I feel, so I need to pay attention and think, okay, I'm gonna remember how I first felt when I thought I was first getting full, and stop eating then, as opposed to continuing to eat until I really feel full. So hopefully this helps you with moving forward on feeling your fullness.